Good morning, everyone. From day 2 of CDMO Live 2025, really delighted this morning to be joined by Hanns-Christian Mahler, CEO of ten23 Health. Looking forward to a nice podcast conversation this morning. Hans, welcome. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you. Well, thank you for the introductions and thank you for having me. My name is Hanns-Christian Mahler, as you said, CEO of ten23 Health, and I'm very delighted to be in Rotterdam.
Fantastic, fantastic. So, what has been the highlight of CDMO Live 2025 for you so far?
Well, I probably have two sides of that answer. One would be probably the boat party, because it was a really fun event, great boat, great idea, very well done, very well organized. And generally speaking, I think I like the concept of this being in a tight place where you meet all the people that are interested in outsourcing and the people who are offering outsourcing. So it makes it a very focused event.
Great, great. And if you had to sum up the event in one or two words, how would you capture it?
Speed dating, that would be probably one. And the other one would be networking.
Okay, great. And certainly, I think both of those are very relevant. Certainly networking in a variety of forms has been very, very close to our vision for the event, so that's great to hear. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's dive into a little bit more about ten23 Health, about your views on the market, etc. Certain parts of this unique part of the market. Let's start by talking a little bit about partnerships. Obviously, such an important topic between sponsor and CDMOs. Yeah. What tips can you give from your perspective on how to work effectively?
Well, I would probably first start by saying, well, ten23 is a sterile product CDMO, so our focus is drug product and sterile product, both on the development, manufacturing, and the testing side. When I look at partnerships, the first thing obviously comes in mind as a sponsor and outsourcing partner relationship, which should be built, in my view, on transparency, on very clear, rules of engagement, be very clear on what the expected outcome would be.
Yeah.
I think we need to have clear mechanisms in place when things don't go well, also on how you approach that. It's been always my dream of being in the CDMO industry, having been on the sponsor side for 15 years before. Yeah. My ambition for being a CDMO is that there will always be technical challenges, but as a CDMO, I want to be transparent about the challenge and then provide options to a customer, in that case, also to be able to decide based on the available information with pro, con, and having a recommended way forward. So to me, it's about navigation, open communication.
Yeah.
There. I would also think of partnerships in the sense of collaborating along the value chain. So we've been, for example, last year partnering very extensively with device companies such as Ipsumit, where we are supporting our clients in developing, these device solutions with the various stakeholders and partners. So I think partnerships will not only be important from a customer and outsourcing partner relationship, but amongst these outsourcing partners and CDMO functions and suppliers, that will be essential in my view as well.
Yeah, okay. And then taking that theme on a little bit, we spend a lot of time at events like CDMO Live and in conversation talking about how things work really well and how to do things and the focus areas. What are the biggest mistakes that are made in outsourcing, and what perhaps can we do as an industry to change how we approach some of those to avoid those happening?
Probably by experience. I think it's when I would say plans need to be realistic. I think we need to always think about what happens if things go wrong.
Yeah.
To think about, I give you one specific example. Since we're in drug product manufacturing, not many CMOs actually have a strong development expertise, and that has been a key and very important element for us to include into our development offering, into our manufacturing offerings. That's where our idea is to anticipate challenges that may arise during the manufacturing itself early in the process. Yeah. And to be very, aware of the things that can go wrong in the manufacturing and trying to already build de-risking mechanisms. Yeah. Now, what I'm seeing sometimes is that clients want to immediately jump into manufacturing and think we don't need to do any development, just it cannot be that challenging. It's just water-based formulations in a glass vial or syringe, and then basically just go and just push it to PPQ batches, and then you see failures. So I would probably say plan and think early, include development very early on to make sure you're mitigating about the challenges at the end. So don't try to run before you can walk.
Yeah. Okay. So it's as much about the D as the M, effectively,
Absolutely.
and making the planning count to include the full cycle.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. What about? There's lots of very, very big focus areas, initiatives across global pharma at the moment. Sustainability and net zero are obviously increasingly important factors. What does that look like from a 1023 perspective? What are you championing in this space? What's your view in that area?
Yeah, no, I love the question. Our commitments at 1023 are patients, people, and planet.
Yeah.
Very early on, basically when we founded the company, it was very clear that the planet focus should be very closely embedded into our DNA. We meanwhile became a B corporation, where it's even sad and interesting that many of our clients don't know what a B Corp is. Yeah. We've been obviously doing SBTi target validations. We are already operating net positive, so basically have been assessing, measuring, and taking significant actions. And I believe that sustainability should not be a corporate initiative. It should be basically embedded into the DNA to make sure that on day-to-day operations of everyone involved in the company, you can really make an impact and go beyond the typical just CO2 measurements. Having said that, because you said it becomes increasingly important, and I truly believe that in 5 years from now, it will be a right to operate such like quality.
Yeah.
Having said that, I'm currently also partly frustrated because it seems it's not a big enough topic even for pharma companies that we are collaborating with. So I always ask them, I wish you would do a little bit more due diligence on us on the sustainability, because I do think we have a lot to offer. So I'm hoping that actually the pharma sector will become a little bit more thinking of sustainability to be ingrained in the selection of CDMOs.
Yeah. And you've obviously made that very clear, a real commitment to have that embedded in the company. And have you seen a real progression in terms of your team and how central that is over the years since you started?
Well, it was quite important for people already from the start, and that's also for people joining 1023. It has been one of the criteria to the most part to why they join the company. We make quite some initiatives across the teams where we invite people into initiatives across the company, and I would say it becomes increasingly embedded. And obviously, some people were more close to the sustainability topic than others, which is totally fine. But our ambition as a company is not only to make sure we operate as a company in that sense that sustainability is a part of our DNA, but also that we can touch people's lives and maybe they take something home and then also have an impact for their private lives and private environments.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so finally, lots of conversations across CDMO Live in lots of different formats, in roundtables, in the networking, in the lunch and coffee breaks, and the party last night. What's the single most valuable insight or conversation or takeaway that you're going to go home with at the end of play today?
I think it's probably the relevance of partnerships, as we touched upon initially in our conversation. It's about the importance of the CDMO industry. I think the CDMO industry is essential to make sure that medicines are being developed and made available to patients in need. And to recognize that relevance and the focus to really partner and to move ahead jointly and to make an impact for patients. And that's kind of my takeaway, and I'm already looking forward to CDMO Live next year.
Wonderful. And I think obviously the whole theme and concept of partnership is so central to this event in terms of the different groups of people that we have here and the combined power of those groups. So I think that's a really nice way to finish. Obviously, very much thank you to you for taking part in the podcast today. Thank you to you for the support from 1023 for the event, and we look forward very much to seeing you next year. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Appreciate it.